Easy mode. Middle of a lake. Swimming slowly. Yo, 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 yo. Daniel, Rugged 420. Thanks for joining me, bro. So I didn't even have my chat open. I didn't know anybody was watching. But yeah, I am AoE farming a really low level dungeon right now. Solo. I'm not getting any experience. I'm here for the greens. Let's try doing another little poll here. We gotta open the door. I need more empty room in my bags. Crap. Gates of Ironforge. He'll get here eventually. Oh, yeah, he can be frozen in place, so that's interesting. Okay. Okay, I forgot. I gotta be entertaining. I was really distracted. Is this guy gonna be able to make it here? I'm gonna have to escort him back in. I'm gonna have to run out and get him. I don't think he'll make it here by himself. I'll get you, little buckaroo. What a shitwad. This guy didn't know I died. Live. Live. Fuck. Live. Okay, well, I'm here, waiting for this Lobby guy I was trying to run through this dungeon with. Let's start disenchanting shit. Leather of the bear. Let's see here. Disenchant it all. Where are you going? What the hell? This guy seems kind of a noob. Stay on me. Alright, let's do this. That's how it works. My bags are so gonna get full doing this. Let's do this again. Tony, by the way, has left the guild. Oh no. It'd be funny if we added so people just couldn't. He wasn't gonna win anyway. I'm gonna pass on that ice cold milk. Give me a hard pass. Let's get this mana back. Alright, let's go. He's my little loot bot. lot of drinking to do. Lot of drinking. If I was a higher level, this would be a little bit easier. But I'm only level 46. But I really want these green drops right now. Come on, mana. Waiting for mana. Waiting for mana. Waiting for mana. If you need it, man. Yeah, we'll take it. Take it. Trapped in space music. Drifting, falling, tumbling. Earth below us. Fuck. Woo! You've done work. Wow. Yeah, have some free enchants. What's this about? Okay. All good, my friend, all good. So I'm running a low-level guildie through this dungeon because I'm running the dungeon multiple times. He's getting experience, I get all the loot. Win-win. I got the gunpowder. definitely got a little iffy there. Join.
No, you're making me angry.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is demanding the impeachment of Donald Trump. Again, sure, what else is new? This time it has to do with, quote, law-breaking behavior over the Ukrainian scandal. Now, AOC is saying the bigger scandal
What law is
is
breaking?
that Democrats
Broken.
are letting him do it and won't impeach him. In reality, I think the bigger scandal is the ongoing story involving Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, and they somehow are injecting Trump into this when the story about Ukraine and the big scandal having to do with conflicts of interest from Joe Biden and his son, it was broken in May by the New York Times. Why wasn't that a scandal that a major 2020 presidential candidate got a prosecutor fired who was investigating his own son? That's the scandal. Well, apparently, Donald Trump had a conversation with Ukraine and said, you can work with Giuliani, and urged them to do it. And they're saying that's the scandal because he wants them to reinvestigate potential corruption. Look, I think the story is ridiculous. It's a pool of fake news. I've talked about how the media falsely frames things and fake news goes wild. That's why I'm more focused on what AOC is doing to the Democrats. So here's what we're going to do. Let's talk about AOC's calls for impeachment. She's actually getting a bit of pushback. We will break down Ukrainian scandal, and trust me, once again, the mainstream media is pushing absolute fake news about the president. I'm not saying President Trump is innocent of all charges. I'm just saying the whole story is a scandal involving Biden, not Trump. And they're falsely framing this. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But in the end, I do want to focus on impeachment. So let's start with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and how she bases her policy positions off of fake news, and this to me is the most worrying thing. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address, but of course the best you can do is share this video. I'm going to be calling out a ton of fake news, and YouTube props up big corporate channels like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. I recently learned they like this channel a bit, although the corporate channels get the biggest boost. If you like what I do and you think I should keep doing it, please consider sharing this to help me grow and overcome the obstacles put in front of me by deranking and algorithmic bias. However, let's get back to the news.
Yo.
Daily Mail reports AOC launches scathing attack on her own party, saying Democrats' refusal to impeach Trump is a bigger national scandal than the president's law-breaking behavior over Ukraine.
What the fuck? Their
First of
refusal
all,
to impeach?
AOC attacking the Democrats. What else is new? AOC calling for impeachment. What else is new? And AOC getting the facts wrong. Okay, what else is new?
AOC getting in the
news. I talk
news.
about this stuff so often, I'm kind of like, it's like a rerun almost. It's like, oh, I'm going to make another video about AOC calling for impeachment and getting her facts wrong. Rerun, basically, but it's not. It's like we're living on repeat. So hopefully something happens in 2020 to break this cycle, but it's bad. So here's the thing. AOC tweeted this. At this point, the bigger national scandal isn't the president's law-breaking behavior, of which she's referring to a scandal. There's none, for the most part. It's an accusation. It is the Democratic Party's refusal to impeach him. She actually got some pushback in this thread where someone said, democracy is actually under threat when the president breaks the law. And by saying Democrats are worse than Republicans, you may be exacerbating the problem. If you want impeachment, advocate for the votes, raise money for vulnerable moderates, encourage people to vote him out. This critic is actually targeting Democrats too. In the context of how this is going to play into 2020 and how politics works, I think it goes well beyond this Ukrainian scandal story. And I'm so not interested in it because it's fake news. It really, really is. Now, it's not fake news that Joe Biden should be investigated for conflict of interest. It's fake news that has anything to do with Trump. And in the end,
A little monkey.
the story is shifting back to Biden. Now, there are Trump supporters saying Trump has tricked them into calling out Biden. Well, they did this to themselves. Check this out. We saw this story. May 1st, 2019. Why is Ocasio-Cortez calling for the impeachment of Trump? Well, from the New York Times, they report it was a foreign policy role Joseph R. Biden Jr. enthusiastically embraced during his vice presidency, browbeating Ukraine's notoriously corrupt government to clean up its act. And one of its most memorable performances came on a trip to Kiev in March 2016, when he threatened to withhold $1 billion in United States loan guarantees if Ukraine's leaders did not dismiss the country's top prosecutor, who had been accused of turning a blind eye to corruption in his own office and among the political elite. The pressure campaign worked. The prosecutor general, long a target of criticism from other Western nations and international lenders, was soon voted out by the Ukrainian parliament. Among those who had a stake in the outcome was Hunter Biden, Mr. Biden's younger son, who at the time was on the board of an energy company owned by Ukrainian oligarch, who had been in the sights of the fired prosecutor general. Hunter Biden was a Yale-educated lawyer who had served on the boards of Amtrak and a number of nonprofit organizations and think tanks, but lacked any experience in Ukraine, and just months earlier had been discharged from the Navy Reserve after testing positive for cocaine. He would be paid as much as $50,000 per month in some months for his work for the company Burisma Holdings. This is May. This is a story from May. They say the broad outlines of how Biden's roles intersected in Ukraine have been known for some time. The former vice president's campaign said that he had always acted to carry out U.S. policy without regard to any activities of his son, that he had never discussed the matter with Hunter Biden, and that he learned of his son's role with the Ukrainian energy company from some news reporters. But new details about Hunter Biden's involvement and a decision this year by the current Ukrainian prosecutor general to reverse himself and reopen an investigation into Burisma have pushed the issue back into the spotlight just as the senior Mr. Biden is beginning his campaign. Let me break this down for you. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, had cocaine in his system, was discharged, then got a job for $50,000 a month at an energy company in Ukraine that was being investigated, and Joe Biden threatened the government with withholding $1 billion unless they fired the prosecutor doing the investigation.
Yeah.
Whether or not Joe Biden was acting at the behest or the benefit of his son is irrelevant. There's a major conflict of interest here that should be investigated. Well, apparently, there's a story from CNN. You see, Trump apparently talked to Ukraine and said, work with Giuliani investigating Joe Biden's son, or something to that effect. CNN claims a whistleblower's complaint about President Donald Trump intensified Thursday amid revelations that the White House and Justice Department tried to keep it quiet. Let's dig down and figure out why they wanted to keep it quiet. How about this? The Washington Post on Wednesday said the complaint referenced a promise Trump allegedly made to the unidentified leader. CNN has not confirmed that aspect of the controversy. The whistleblower did not have direct knowledge of the communications, an official briefed on the matter told CNN. Instead, the whistleblower's concern came in part from learning information that was not obtained during the course of their work. And those details have played a role in the administration's determination that the complaint didn't fit the reporting requirements under the intelligence whistleblower law, the official said. It is hard to know the potential exposure faced by the president. Not confirmed. Whistleblower. No direct knowledge. Learned about this not in the course of work. What do we have here? Somebody working in government heard a rumor, then tried reporting the rumor, got told, no, it's a rumor, you have no direct knowledge of this. They didn't even learn it from work. They say, the whistleblower didn't have direct knowledge of the communications. Are we done here? No. Now it's a national scandal that the Democrats aren't impeaching Trump about it. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. They base so much off of fake news, but perhaps it's on purpose. So check this out. In this story, Biden explodes when confronted on his Ukraine scandal. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden exploded on Saturday when Fox News reporter Peter Doocy confronted him over his Ukraine scandal, claiming that he did nothing wrong and that the media should be looking into Trump. Should they? The story was broken by the New York Times in May. So here's my big question. Why is AOC blaming Trump for a story about Biden that came out May 1st? Where was the press? Where was the outrage? Where was the scandal? It's fake news. It's the Democrats weaponizing fake news from somebody who's not a whistleblower, but every single story is claiming it's actually a whistleblower. Now, Donald Trump responded to the Ukrainian scandal. I know we're getting to the Ukrainian scandal stuff, and I really didn't want to cover this because it's such fake news. And I don't want to do videos every single day where I'm like, hey, remember that story from yesterday where they claimed a whistleblower was saying something? Turns out it's fake news, and a day later we're going to issue a correction. It happens every single time. That's why I'm just fed up. I don't want to go through all of the, every time there's a big negative story about Trump. If you're going to have a hearing trying to determine how much of a problem white supremacy or white nationalism is to the black community, who would you ask? Would it be a white academic female who has read a lot? Or would it be, I don't know, say like an actual black person, like Candace Owens, for instance? Black conservative activist Candace Owens tells congressional hearing white supremacy and white nationalism are not a problem and says the left's war on masculinity is a far bigger issue. Far be it from me to tell Candace Owens what the bigger problem is in her own community, in her own experience, having grown up and lived as a black person. This is the craziest thing to me. Groups of people are not monoliths for the most part. I can't look at her and say that her opinion is going to be identical to every single black person anywhere. But I'm curious as to why, at least, they would have a congressional hearing asking a bunch of white people about this. Now look, it's funny. We often hear about these panels where they'll be like, why weren't there any women on this panel? And it's like, okay, hold on. If your panel is about, I don't know, say like petroleum engineers, and you have 5 guys and they're all talking about it, I don't care what the gender is. Sure, you could ask, why aren't there women? I think that's a fine question. But usually the answer is, they're all petroleum engineers. Now, if they put an accountant on the table and kicked out a woman, I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Like, bring the petroleum engineer up on stage. I don't care about the accountant. In this instance, we're talking about a question of whether or not white nationalism and white supremacy are issues in the black community, and they're going to take the word of a white progressive over someone like Candace Owens. I would much prefer to actually see a debate between Candace and someone else in the black community who might push back, so you can actually have a conversation about it. Here's the biggest issue. I defer to Candace. I defer to literally anyone else in the community. Literally, just like some dude living in a house. Because I don't know. I can tell you, though, as most of you are aware, that I am part Korean. The reason I highlight this in this specific context, I know you guys love ragging on me for bringing it up, but I bring it up because look at the world we live in. Look at how they play this game. They tell me I have to listen. They say, Tim, you have to listen to minorities. I say, oh, actually, mixed race people are the smallest minority in the country and are completely different based on which races were mixed. And they say, not you, you're passing. Other mixed people might not be passing, so their opinions might matter more than yours. That's what they say to me. I'm told my opinion doesn't matter when I push back and say the individual is more important. They then say, but Tim, listen, I understand. I hear where you're coming from, but please listen. And I say, okay, how about Candace Owens or Kanye West? No, not them. What they're really saying, and what I see from events like this, they're really saying is to bend the knee to the woke white progressives. Isn't it funny? Isn't it weird and paradoxical that the far left is overwhelmingly wealthier, and white, telling everyone else how to live? Let's read this story so I don't prattle on a bit more. Look, let me say one more thing moving forward. For one, instead of doing the normal longer plug, just share this video if you like it. Here, look, I am not a big fan of Candace Owens. I don't dislike Candace Owens. I'm saying I'm not a big fan of her. I think she's got some, she's made some apt statements, and she's got some, she said things before that I disagreed with, like burning the flag should be, a punishment or something. You should be penalized for doing it. Disagree. She said some things about, free speech issues that I may agree with, though I question the flag burning thing. But for the most part, I don't know. I'm just kind of tepid, like, yep, that's Candace Owens. I'm not a big fan. I don't dislike her. She's just a person. I'm normally not one to come out in defense of most of what she says, but this is a particular issue that's very. This is an issue. This is an issue in which it is very easy to see the problem. That you have a black woman trying to explain that to her, growing up in this country, white nationalism is not a problem, and they actually argue with her. She's like, she said something, here, I'll read it. She says, based on a hierarchy of what's impacting minority Americans, if I had to make a list of 100 things, white nationalism would not make the list. Look, when I was younger, my family dealt with some, white supremacy nonsense, but it wasn't even in the top 100. It was a thing that happened, and we were like, oh, and we got over it, and we were more concerned about how we were going to pay the bills. My family went through a lot of hardships, and our on a list of our top concerns was not whether or not the white supremacists wanted to come back and vandalize our property. It happened. End of story. These things happen. Crime happens. Let's read. Black conservative activist Candace Owens told Congress that white nationalism and white supremacy are not a problem for minorities in America. Owens was invited to testify in front of the House Oversight Joint Subcommittee on Friday to discuss combating white supremacy. I love how they get a bunch of white people in to talk about combating white supremacy. Don't you see the irony? These people are incorrigible. She said, if we're going to have a hearing on white supremacy, we are assuming that the biggest victims of that are minority Americans, and presumably this hearing would be to stop that and to preserve the lives of minority Americans. She then goes on to say if she was to make a list, it wouldn't even be in the top 100. Owens then proceeds to list issues she believes are more immediately pressing, including black-on-black crime, abortion, illegal immigration, and the Democrats' attack on masculinity. There was a post on Reddit, and it said, critics often talk about how people don't care about black-on-black crime, and the reality is, there was apparently recently a huge march, may have been Chicago, I'm not sure, where the black community came out to protest black-on-black violence. They do. They absolutely do call this out. And I think it's important to point out, when you see a Black Lives Matter activist talking about issues of police brutality, people will often throw in their face, yeah, but what about the Chicago? They protest it all the time. I've interviewed them. I'm from Chicago. The problem is the media. The problem is the media. They want to pit us all against each other. They want outrage for clicks, and they won't tell you simple truths. Trust me, in Chicago, we've interviewed these activists. They absolutely understand the problem of crime in their communities and are actively trying to oppose it. And these are a lot of activists I would probably agree with on a lot of political issues outside of, dealing with crime in Chicago. It is often used as a deflection. So Candace Owens is one of those people talking about it. And she will point out that Democrats come every 4 years saying all of these things to try and get the vote. This is something I agree with her on, being from Chicago. They're absolutely activist organizations and really good people fighting and pointing that out. And so I want to stress, too, a bit of a lefty position. Whenever you see someone say, oh, they don't care about black-on-black crime, yeah, the media doesn't. These fake activists don't. The communities do. And don't forget it. Google the big march. I don't have it pulled up, but it was on Reddit. And they said the media won't cover it. That's the issue. I think it's fair to point out that whatever is politically expedient for these Democrats, they'll highlight. But it's not. The media doesn't want to highlight this issue of people in the community actually challenging. There was a thing called, in Chicago, like ceasefire. People have been trying really, really hard to deal with issues like this. So, Candace obviously understands that. Look, I can just say this. I defer to Candace Owens. Regardless of her politics, she knows better than any of these people what's affecting her and her community. She says, we don't see hearings on those bigger issues. The inner city communities, which is a huge issue, black-on-black crime, the breakdown of the family, I think is the #1 thing contributing to that. And that's why Kanye West comes out for Trump. Because they're actually people who experience this and understand the problem.
Fuck!
We never hear anyone talking about what happens when you remove a father from the home. In fact, I would argue that right now, we have a social environment that is hostile towards men. Later during the hearing, Owens summarized her position on the matter by saying, white supremacy and white nationalism is not a problem that is harming black America. I would agree and disagree, right? Here's my position. It is in many capacities. There is police racism. We've uncovered it. But these instances are criminal. They're the anomaly, they're the exception, not the rule, right? I think it's important to point out racism is a serious problem in this country. Is it a top 100 problem? Don't ask me. Ask Candace Owens, right? I understand the argument of Tim being passing, and I can tell you, for me, racism was never a particularly big issue until the left made it one. And now it's becoming a problem. But the point I'm trying to make is, you can recognize that white supremacy and white nationalism are a growing threat and a serious threat we should be paying attention to, while also recognizing there's very few of these people, and maybe we should be worried about, the environment and jobs more so. To me, I agree to a certain extent with Candace when she says it's a red herring. It's designed to get votes and things like that. But I want to show you this. Jordan sorry, I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce names. Let's just accept it. He said the House is having a hearing on white supremacy, and the Republicans invited Candace Owens, who used her time to say it isn't actually an issue, that it wouldn't even rank in her top 100 issues, and that the real issue is black-on-black crime and a lack of masculinity in men. Full stop. No, Jordan. Either he doesn't understand or he's a liar. She said it wasn't a top 100 issue for her. If she was going to make a list of problems affecting minority Americans, this wouldn't be in the top. He didn't include that. Perhaps the problem is actually Twitter and the ability to not get all that context in, and he was trying to, save space. But in the end, I'm fairly certain, I could be wrong, but I think Jordan's a white dude. Okay, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, Jordan, if you're not white, forgive me. But so I won't be too direct in pointing this at Jordan, but I will say part of the problem is it's white people claiming they're not racist, telling minorities what to do, and then claiming the minorities are racist, and it's like, dude, don't you understand the problem of you complaining about white supremacy and then refusing to listen to what Candace Owens is telling you about her own experience? This is what's frustrating to me. And I guess I'll wrap this up after this point, because I don't...
It frustrated me.
Came back. The Star Destroyer.
We got
fleets
1,000
come
Star
back.
Destroyers.
J.J. Abrams, man, not even once.
You
I
did
think
it.
1,000's underestimating it. I think it's going to be more.
It's gonna be a
Where'd they
billion,
come
a
from?
trillion. No,
Where'd
it's
they
gonna
come
be
from?
infinite.
Have you heard the rumor that they're Death Star destroyers? That
Yes.
each one has the power of a Death Star and can destroy a planet?
Oh,
Sounds like a kid's thing, doesn't it?
I know.
oh yeah. Well, I'm strong as infinity plus one.
Mine's a super
I'm strong as
Emperor
infinity plus
Death-
two.
Death Snoke, Star, lasers, galaxy bomb. Like,
We've
whoa.
done a giant Death Star. Now we'll do 1,000 Death Stars.
And they're all gonna point at Luke, and he's gonna break them all with the Force. And JJ will be like, "See, that's what they wanted. That's what the fans wanted." And then you'll get all those video essays that are like, "This was terrible because you gave the fans what they wanted. You gave in to them instead of doing what Ryan did."
What? And just ruining everything.
They treat it like it's a dichotomy, don't they? Do you remember all those hyperbolic arguments that were like, "Oh, everyone wanted Luke just jump around the battlefield and destroy everything. That's what they wanted." But Ryan wanted to take it in an artistic way.
I would have preferred seeing Luke actually do something. Yes, I would have preferred that. Yes, you cracked the case.
Are you
As,
mad
like,
you want to see a Jedi be a Jedi? What's wrong with you? That
I-
film would
I
have been
do
terrible.
I do like the implication that there are only two possible ways to make a film: make it bad and what people want, or make it good and nobody likes it. Apparently, it's the only
The best
way.
version is if you talk about the originals getting together. In any scene whatsoever, that would have been the worst thing possible. Like, there would have been no way to write that was exciting and good to see. It just would have been pandering to the audience and terrible. And it's
Well, I
like, I
mean,
don't
like-
know, just...
I feel like you could have introduced new characters without ruining the old ones. What can I say? You know, maybe that was possible. You could have told a story that wasn't just undermining the entire point of the original trilogy. That's kind of the reason why
you
when
just
I
don't
watched the
understand
original ones.
filmmaking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you're
always
clearly-
has to
yeah.
evolve, Fringy. If it's to survive,
You're
it
clearly
has to
saying.
evolve.
If it's to survive, it has to evolve. They say in a world where Call of Duty exists and is
they
like the
s-
biggest selling game every year.
They say as Ryan is stabbing Star Wars in the heart repeatedly. He has
I
to
have
evolve.
to change it. I'm saving it. Can't you see? I'm saving it. Help me.
And I think I've mentioned this to a couple of people at this point because his new movie's coming out called Knives Out, and it's getting really good reviews. And I kind of just don't buy it because he hasn't really made anything good from a writing standpoint. Everything good that he's made, someone else wrote. So I don't really. I'm unconvinced
But he's
of his
saying,
ability.
but he's saying all the right things. It has a literal Nazi in it, so that
Oh,
taught
is
themselves
that
to be a
why?
Nazi
Is
from
that
the
why it's
internet.
getting good reviews?
Well, they taught themselves to be a literal Nazi from the internet. That's one of the characters.
They
And
just
that's
get
what
to
based
the
on his-
forums that don't
Okay.
like Star Wars and like, oh, these are Nazis, right?
Apparently the
must
Emmys
watch-
are tonight,
yeah.
by the way.
They are. Let's see if Game of Thrones wins for best writing. Wouldn't that
Oh,
be
no.
grand?
Well, I know
Oh, no.
someone's going to send me an article saying Game of Thrones wins X amount of Emmys, and I'll just be like, it only matters if they win the writing one. I don't mind them winning anything else. If they win the writing Emmy, let's cross
What
the
about
line.
direction? What about direction?
Yeah,
What about choreography?
is there a choreography Oscar?
No,
I don't
there
know.
isn't. It'd just be directing.
I don't know, but what if they made one just for Game of Thrones?
Oh well,
reason
yeah.
why
I'd probably
I,
the thing is, I'd be annoyed with those ones, but the writing, that's like, you know, this is
Well, I last night I was rewatching the battles from Lord of the Rings, and I was just so thoroughly impressed by them. And then I think about the Winterfell one. I'm just like, yeah, you don't deserve to win anything for that. Yeah, you got great sets and you got good special effects, but like what is happening in this battle is absurd.
It was the bad.
Oh, it was
there was
very
plenty
bad.
of progression. You need for a fight scene to be.
What progression was there? They ran in a suicidal charge in complete and utter blackness
You
and
would,
died.
I think closer look would have argued that as progression.
Oh,
In
okay,
fact,
so
I might
how is
argue
there no
that's
progression in...
It's just because
but
progression
how-
is almost nebulous. Like, yes, things happened.
And yet he said there was no progression in Endgame, despite a very clear objective of getting the gauntlet to the time machine.
Wow, Fringy, why are you trying to hate on someone who's just trying to share their opinion?
No.
One of the things I wanted to mention today, I don't know if this will be I know that Rags and Pringy will care about this. I'm not sure if
I care.
will. But Randy Pitchford's thing on Twitter that Borderlands 3's peak players is more than twice Borderlands 2's on Steam. So,
okay.
and he said, "Wow, you guys are great." Like he's basically doing a victory lap. But like I read that, I was like, hang on. First of all, Borderlands is a really successful like franchise, so naturally the players will increase if it's healthy. But where are these numbers from? Who confirmed these? Because I don't think Epic don't have their numbers public, do they?
I'm curious. Also, I'm hearing a lot about quality issues with Borderlands 3.
I am too. Yeah, I'm hearing frame rate issues, performance issues across all platforms. That's what I've been hearing.
And the irony is that we expect that one to be the one that's going to be high performing and it's pissed everyone off this year, and then vice versa. Call of Duty, the laughing stock of games most of the time, is proving to be quite fun this time around.
It's pretty
fun.
Like,
yeah, I've already got a bunch of people saying, "Oh, play the beta with me."
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's actually fun. I've been playing it.
To be honest with you, I'm pretty much sold. I'll probably buy the game when it comes out.
Yeah, same here. It feels like, it oddly feels like playing back in like 2008, 2009. It does feel like the older ones.
I was enjoying it, and it did feel like a blast from the past. I mean, it's weird because COD was supposed to be dead as far as I was aware. Like, I thought it was an embarrassing sort of franchise that was.
Well, it has been for a long time. Like, I think the last one I bought was Black Ops 3, and the last one I actually enjoyed was Black Ops 2, and that came out in 2012.
The last one that I played and enjoyed, I think, was Advanced Warfare.
I didn't really like Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, apparently that was pretty mixed. I just liked it because it was really new and silly.
Yeah, it depends on if you play campaigns as well, because the campaign for that game is very much wasted potential. It presents an idea that's interesting and then just ruins it by being a big, blockbuster kind of thing. Whereas with this Modern Warfare, they seem to be going a little bit more grounded. From like, you may have been hearing the articles right, but IGN they posted an article where they were very negative about the campaign because
yeah.
of the
And it was
it.
I know that VentureBeat wrote an article whining about it, and it was Dean Takahashi who wrote that, of Cup fame, Cuphead infamy,
of Cup fame,
Cup fame.
No, the thing is when I read the article and they said what it was about, I'm like, this actually sounds interesting. For the first time in a long time, this sounds interesting.
I was like, this might be interesting. I might like to play this. It's not just there's our tanks and there's their tanks. Kill their tanks.
Well, I mean, from what I read, it's actually being like, it seems like it's going to be very critical of the means by which goals are achieved in Modern Warfare. That seems to be the point of the story, based on the things that it's mentioning, like children having to survive in a town that's being raided by soldiers, and special ops forces injecting themselves into a combat zone where there are civilians and it's nighttime and everything's happening too quickly to make the right decisions. So that sounds really interesting. And, I don't want you telling them that they shouldn't be trying to do that because it offends you. Like, fuck off. I want to see this.
Outside of our wonderful Plague Doctor, did everyone here get told that they were going to be unverified at one point in the past week?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Am I the only one who was not told this?
You actually might be the only one.
That might actually be because you're a published author at this point. It could be that's why they didn't do it.
Because I was wondering why, and I feel a bit weak. Like, why am I getting any special treatment? Because, and
You're
I think
a real person.
I must be, right? I'm under the radar, but it could be the fact that I'm published now, and if you Google my name, a couple of hits come up, so that might be it. But man, what a stupid decision, though.
I know, right?
Yeah, upon further inspection, you're not who you said you are. Sorry.
Even though we literally mailed you a plaque with your name and everything on it, we can't really be sure that you're who you say you are.
It's bizarre, and the reasons they were giving, because there is such good utility in having the verified thing, particularly if another channel comments on one of your videos and they stand out. It's like, oh, because I heard someone mention, I forget who it was, but like they really like seeing other creators comment on their YouTube channels because it means that you get to know who's watching, a potential opportunity for collaborations and things. And that's the exact same thing for me. It's a really useful, important feature.
They flipped quicker than I thought they would.
Well, I was going to say, so...
They flipped period, which surprised me.
Developed into Susan saying, "To our creators and users, I'm sorry for the frustration and hurt we've caused with our new approach to verification." And I'm just sitting there like, what did you expect? what did you think? People were going to be okay with this? I think I said this to Rags the other day, but I was like, how many creators did they expect would not appeal? How many creators did they think would go,
every single, literally everyone would be like, no, I earned that shit. You can't just take it away.
But the original reasoning was that it had caused confusion. Isn't that what they originally said?
That's so
giving
dumb.
out. Yeah.
But I mean,
so we're going to take it away.
I heard that, this isn't verified, this is probably rumor, but there is some validity to it, I think, that YouTube might have been concerned that the tick could have been interpreted as YouTube approving of the content. And therefore they didn't want that, to happen. They didn't want to, because, anyway.
Well, then just
some people out there
name.
stupid enough, maybe.
Change the name to YouTube's social credit system. And then, that's all you need to do at that point. Because it's probably going to be the same thing as Twitter, where you can have somebody who's got like 2,000 followers and they're verified, and then you have someone with 400,000 who's not verified because they didn't go on TV, a few times.
He said,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'd just like to get some feedback, and it'd be hard to find out about who was unverified and who was verified, because it seemed very arbitrary. Like, there were huge creators, million subs and stuff getting unverified, and I wonder if it is public profile that keeps them verified. But to debunk that, all we would need to find out is anyone with a prominent enough public profile to say, no, I was unverified too. And then it really comes into, well, who the heck is determining or was determining who was going to be verified and who was going to be unverified?
Did you see the comparison screenshot where they had the official Pingu YouTube channel was still verified and YouTube wasn't?
Pingu.
He said, while trying to make improvements, we missed the mark, and as I write this, we're working to address your concerns, and we'll have more updates soon. And when I read that, I was like, uh-oh. Is it going to be the kind of fix where it's not actually a fix? But, yeah, she said, we heard loud and clear how much the badge means to you. Channels that currently have verification will now keep it without appeal. We'll continue reviewing those channels to ensure we're protecting creators from impersonation. Yeah, again, like, it was really bizarre that they gave you the option to try and prove that someone might impersonate you, and it's like, you realize the verification was protection from you, right?
Yeah, that's so bizarre.
There will be more impersonators if you take the verification away. So it doesn't even matter how many there are now, there will be more. Because I've seen it happen. Do you remember that time, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, where a lot of people's accounts were being like faked with spam website links? It's happening to a lot of Let's Players, where people just invent the channel name. Like take Markiplier, for example. Copy the name, copy the image, and then just post loads of times like, hey guys, happy to see you on my comment section. I'd really appreciate it if you check out this link, because it's going to blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, it's terrible. And it was like, yeah, and they had to start saying like, don't trust any links that don't have a tick on them. And it's like, oh, that's clever. And it's like, by taking the tick away, you open this all back up again, you idiots. Like, why would you do that?
And then to say that the intention of taking away the tick was to protect against, false accounts, duplicate accounts, it's like, no.
They're just saying things. They're just like, yeah, this is good for you. It's like, but how? This is good for you. No, explain. This is good. Shut up. It's good.
And then she went on to say that you just need 100k subs and you'll be eligible to apply. And so everything's back to normal, though I imagine they're going to be much more difficult to get verification slots.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey.
Like, all channels who are working to... Like, there's going to be a whole bunch of channels out there who are on 90k, and they're like, oh, great. Like,
Thanks.
Yeah, they took it back
Worse, there's
entirely.
probably channels that hit 100k the day it happened.
Yeah. At least they get to keep this now. Like, I'm happy that they've taken it back. I was just kind of like, people are putting on their tinfoil hats because they're like, they don't usually take bad things back. Is it like, did they do something absurdly stupid and then take it back to try and gain favor? Like, we listen. You reckon?
I don't know. They do make a lot of changes where they just don't give a damn and let, sections of YouTube burn as a result. Like you heard about the upcoming changes for children's content that's happening.
Yeah.
Like that is
I didn't actually
horrifying. Well, they're basically for children's content, they're basically going to nuke most monetization, which means targeted ads, and it's because the FTC fined YouTube, Google for an insane amount, and the exact reasons were because of they're breaking some laws in regards to advertising to minors and stuff. And so YouTube, to try and avoid another massive fine, basically are turning off all targeted ads. Because like if you look at traditional TV, there are really strict stipulations about advertising for children. For instance, one of the stipulations is that they can't have a product advertising something that's directly related to the TV show that's playing. So you can't advertise Pokemon toys while Pokemon the TV show was playing, or He-Man toys when He-Man was playing and stuff. I don't think these stipulations are actually in place back in the 80s, but that's what it's like now. And so it's really strict, and they have found YouTube breaching a lot of it. And so targeted ads are ads that are appearing based on people's watch history and other things like that.
Which is how internet advertising works at this point.
Yeah. And that's what most of the ads are that I've heard, people who are in the thing. That's like either 70% or and higher. Most ads on YouTube are these targeted ads, and that's where most of the monetization comes from. They're more valuable. You get more money for targeted ads. But basically, for any content that is made for, I forget the age, they're more valuable. You get more 12 or 13 or something, and and so children's content, they are not allowed any targeted ads on their channel. They do not get they won't get notifications anymore or comments, which is just like absolute execution on so many channels, and they target this not based on the watch history, but based on if the video is determined to be made for children. And this could hit Minecraft YouTubers, so a lot of gamers could be hit, let alone the thousands of YouTubers that just make content specifically made for kids. And I know a lot of YouTubers that make kids content that this is going to impact massively. And so it's basically almost the end of YouTube monetization for them. We will yet to see how well the monetization will go with non-targeted ads, because they do get just regular ads. But if they're going to get less money for those ads, they're already going to get a massive hit. But the largest impact comes from the fact that notifications will be turned off for their whole channel, and no comments either.
What?
That'd be insane.
Yeah, if you're making kids content, that basically means your channel is dead. Like if you're not going to get notifications when you upload. Now, I could be, painting a much more apocalyptic result of this, but this is just what I'm kind of seeing as the result. It'd be nice if it isn't as bad when these changes roll out, but it's basically YouTube saying, no, these are the changes we're making, and I can see that their hand is forced a bit because of the FTC, but basically kids content creators, yeah, this is happening. Sorry, screw you. We can't do anything about it. And
I guess as an official message from EFAP, fuck kids. We hate them. They're terrible. We despise all children from around the world of all colors and religions. We don't have anything to do with them.
Was that fuck
don't worry,
kids,
kids,
or
he's not
fuck
meaning
kids?
you.
Fuck kids.
Was that a command for the EFAP?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hang on. Am I the only one here who has kids? Just throw you out. Yeah.
All of the EFAP chat are my children.
Oh.
And you heard what Rag said to you.
Fuck them.
Rags, talk about how you released your video on Brown Table to the EFAP audience.
I did release my video on Brown Table to the EFAP audience. I did do that a few days ago. It took like 2 weeks just to show how much it gets pushed back. In the video, it says, "Hey, we just got done with episode 50," and then by the time it got released, obviously, it shows episode 50 being the last ones on Mueller channel on the Mueller channel. But it took about oddly no copyright hits for all the Marvel clips, so that was strange. But I'm glad of it. I got stymied by the monetization where they said it wasn't approved, and so I had them appeal, and they said, yeah, it's still not approved. And then I had to go through the creator support thing and had them look at it again, and then they said, all right, we'll pass it on to our internal team, and that took another basically 2 weeks. Like, that video was ready to release when Mahler's last video was ready. I was just coincidental there, but I was only able to get it out when I got it out.
Well, either way, it's been long awaited, and you annihilated him. Like, it was almost biblical, one could say, but approached the argument pretty much in every way. And the loyal, wonderful EFAP audience, they can check it out if they want. I've put it at the top of the description. There's the link. You could watch it now and come back, or you could watch it after EFAP. Either way, actually put them both up and listen to them both at the same time. That's the peak way to experience a Rags video on EFAP. Oh yeah, people were said, what did you say? Sorry?
Retard as much as I did.
I was just gonna say, I've only just started Rags' video, and I think about 20 minutes in, but it was just good to see the beautiful Don's face again, so I was happy already.
It was a pity you couldn't show the good more. Right? You have to be clinical when it comes to working things out in like a courtroom setting. Like, if you were his lawyer, you'd be like, we all know he's very handsome and wonderful, but we can't talk about that right now.
If I was going to go into the lore, I mean, how would you even start new people up on the lore? That would have been its own, like, that's actually a kind of a big undertaking and would have taken a lot of time, and I don't even know exactly how I would have gone about it. So I just kind of...
It's like trying to explain a religion to someone quickly. It can't be done.
Yeah, to explain his heroic exploits full life, it's not easy. That's a 10-hour video right there. But yeah, people are upset with you because you said Doctor Strange was objectively the worst MCU film. Do you want to develop that so people can be less angry? Are people angry about that? I saw a couple comments that were like, explain yourself, that's a ridiculous claim. How could you say that when you have Thor 2, Iron Man 3, Captain Marvel?
Those movies make sense, sort of. Doctor Strange's story just doesn't make sense. Like, it's literally nonsensical.
You watched
it's like, ooh, magic.
You watched it for the first time with Muller and I, didn't you?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I remember as I was watching it, I was enjoying it at the start, but then about halfway, it started to collapse. Like, it just fell apart completely. I was really surprised, actually. I was like, wow, this is not holding up well at all.
I'll never forget the ghost fight.
I'm surprised. I thought it wasn't bad. Well, I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but this could derail the whole stream.
Yeah, the ghost fight and the whole Dormammu reset time thing, it's nonsense.
None of the rules seem to make sense with the time thing. People can break out of him rewinding time. How is that possible? How can you possibly do that? You can't have a coherent thought to break out of the time reversal if time is being reversed on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. I don't know, like, because Marvel can play pretty, loose with how they follow through with certain established things. But I found out with the magic that was being played around with Doctor Strange is that they established basically how something would work, even if the way it worked doesn't really make sense, if it is working that way specifically, and then they just stay true to that standard that they established, you can have the magic be far more satisfying. And in most instances, probably not in every instance, but in most instances, it seemed like that they were sticking with that Doctor Strange learned a limited number of spells in that movie, and that these were the spells that it was always reverting back to, and you kind of got to see their strengths and lengths of what they could achieve in the fact that when we got to see how they were being used and what would overcome them. You got the shield thing, he had the whip thing, he had the portals if he was holding the ring, but if you lose the ring, you can't do the portals, so you need to get the ring and stuff. And those worked decently enough for me. They satisfied me.
I think the ghost fight was a good example of where it doesn't, like, because they're ghosts, but they seem to interact with physical objects completely arbitrarily.
Can't not
like Well, it's like, you know, they get punched into a vending machine and then something happens to them.
Sorry, you broke out. Broke out. Fringy!
Bring Daddy.
He's dead! He's dead!
Uh-oh.
I thought it was.
Is this not working?
Oh, are you back now? Go.
Oh, okay.
Fuck!
Yeah, no, it's like,
This is almost as arbitrary as the ghost scene.
yeah, no,
Sorry.
the ghost scene, it's like, what affects them seems to be completely inconsistent, because they, like, grab onto the ground when they go through it, but it's like, you're a ghost, you can't interact with the ground, you don't exist in the physical
Why don't
realm.
you skip to the big retarded finish where he
Where the electrocution zap somehow translate into the astral realm and then he
uses a
blows them up.
defibrillator on the unconscious Doctor Strange, which sends electricity.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
Good morning and welcome to a brand new campaign. This is Sengoku Rants, a terrific strategy game for the PC. We streamed it once before, way back. Keep on killing.
Yeah, this game looks boring as shit.
Hi, does anyone in here? Are you the tower, son? 737 call sign Big Dookie. We just spawned in here on the active runway. We didn't mean to do that. What do you want us to do now? Come on, Goose, talk to me. We're out here on the active runway and flicking my landing lights at you. Please give us taxi instructions.
Proceed forward and turn right at the closest intersection. Over.
Roger that. Go on straight ahead and proceed left at the closest intersection. Big Dookie.
Negative, proceed right. Over.
Alright, we'll make a right. Just watch your tone with me, alright? I thought you said left. Big Dookie, over and out.
These are my instructions, and if you don't like them, you can get off of my FFA.
Before everything gets piped up in here, let's remain professional. We're simulating the most realism. Big Dookie's gonna pull it right off the runway here. We're waiting for further instructions at that point.
My apologies, sir.
It's alright. I will be filing a formal complaint.
Out of a F-18.
Alright. Don't interrupt me when I'm telling. I was literally in the process of saying that I'm gonna file a formal complaint against you, and then you interrupted me again. And I can't confirm that F-18 is coming directly at us. He just struck our left side of the aircraft. We were probably on fire. Big Dookie's cutting the power to engine number 1 because we have struck an aircraft. We're gonna be attacking off the runway, operating on 1 engine. Okay, we just had a Cessna 172 that just...
Yeah, that's 400 feet, sir.
The altimeter said it. Alright, call sign Ace Fighter, and the glider is disembarking on the active runway. Spoilers are coming down, canopy is open. Can't confirm our pilot has a wicked mustache and a floppy hat on, appropriate for our call sign. Ace Fighter, over and out.
Yeah, I'm hard.
What?
Just that description of your pilot, you know, instantly turned me up.
Roger that, we'll go ahead and Alt F4.
Roger that, I'm installing at the moment.
Roger that, System 32 is now in the recycling bin.
Roger that, emptying the recycle bin as we see.
Roger that, proceeding to urinate on my keyboard and critical computer components.
Roger that, I don't have a keyboard, I only have a mouse.
Roger that, not sure how that's working at all, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, they're just, you know.
Alright, whoever's in this seaplane to my 6 o'clock, you can go ahead and fuck off.
Where are you guys located at the moment?
You're 6 o'clock and we got you locked on. Fox 1, Fox 1.
It's actually 4:53 where I am, and that's 6, so...
Can I request...
Nope.
Roger.
I'm just kidding, go ahead and say, what was your request, boss?
Like an escort
no,
with
just kidding, you can't request it.
medium body.
Okay, I heard something about a meme body. Not sure what that means.
With like an escort with me and my friend who's with me doing a flight.
Roger.
I know what that code means. It's a bomb. He has a bomb on board. He's hijacking the plane. I know what that means.
Roger that. Hijack has been confirmed. Squawk 7500 immediately expect that multiple F-18. You can disable your microphone, but expect multiple F-18s en route shortly.
Roger that. F-18 right now escorting a 747 about to land on runway, whatever number that is.
Roger that. Oh my god, we got the 747 directly at our... We are on the runway that the 747 is touching down on in a glider with our canopy open. And that was one hella shitty landing. And we are dead.
You ate shit.
Have been consuming shit since the moment I entered the session, firm.
What's that?
Who needs the F-18 escort?
Yeah, what's the call sign for the aircraft that's low-key declaring a hijacking on board? What is your call sign, and where's your location?
Yeah, now you'll want to pick up because we know you're hijacked.
Confirm you just said 1, 2, 3.
That's something a hijacker would say. Been there, done that, I know.
Been there, done that in reference to a hijacking? I'm concerned.
Roger that. That's 10-4.
Okay, we're gonna switch out back into a, we're gonna hop over in an F-18. I've had enough of this glider bullshit. Is the 747, are you actually in Frankfurt, Germany? Is that where you are? Because that's literally on the entire opposite side of the planet from where this session is taking place.
Can you please repeat that?
No, I cannot. If you did not hear me, that's too bad for you.
Glad you're listening ears on.
Just kidding. I'm wondering, are you actually in Frankfurt, Germany? Because that's literally nowhere where anyone else is.
Yeah. Heading towards Austria.
Austria. Roger that. What is your Steam identification so I can locate you and intercept and or shoot you down?
You like where I'm at right now?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant.
Okay, give me a sec.
Please expedite your location, because I have a bunch of unidentified aircraft that are engaging in my position currently. I'm on an active runway.
I am near DQ.
Can you use the correct pronunciation? X-ray Zulu Papa Kilo, roger that. We'll be spotting him momentarily. I've just spawned in an F-18 here in Frankfurt. Going to be looking to intercept the Airwolf guy that was communicating with me earlier.
Roger that.
What's up, Kilo? Remember me?
Hey, what's up, Sauce Boss?
Yeah, I was already going to do that, damn it.
Haha, beat you to it.
Why don't you beat me?
Whoa.
Fuck you.
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Triggered. Alright, F-18 call sign is call sign, and you can actually look that up. That is our call sign. We're launching out of Frankfurt, runway 07 right, proceeding for a 7-4 intercept. And rotate.
Rotate.
There it is. Proceeding with a high-speed flyby of the tower.
Okay, my flight level is going to be at 320.
Roger that. We're going to amend your flight level. Proceed direct up to flight level 420. How copy?
First Nixon is crashing dominating the port theater.
Yeah, go ahead and log it for me.
Turn left heading 130.
Okay, are you just announcing that you're doing that? Because I didn't hear any ATC tell you to do that. Someone just regurgitated something.
Audio cancer.
Your cancer, baby.
Alright, all aircraft call sign. F-18 call sign flying through a cloud. IFR is confirmed foggy.
Call sign, I've got you visual.
Roger that.
Not sure if you can stay maybe climbing through flight level, well, God knows what it is. It's 354 right now.
I believe your altimeter would know what it was.
I'm at 394.
Roger that. Wait, flight level 3, 9, or 4?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm assuming that's 39,400, not low Earth orbit.
That is correct.
Which is correct?
Past 4001.
Okay, just go ahead and say, is it 40,000 feet we're talking about here, or are you about to strike the moon?
Strike the fucking moon.
Is this another moon landing?
Roger that. Your call sign is now Apollo 13, cleared to the moon.
Roger. Apollo 13 is through 414.
Excellent. Okay, Jesus Christ, the 747 that we're tracking, we got you at our 12 o'clock. How far out are you from Frankfurt? Because we're clocking 600 knots and we're not even getting close to you. This is supposed to be a quick here and back mission. We're coming out here to just drop you like a marble in the sink, and then we're proceeding direct back to base. We don't have a bathroom or anything on board here, so let's go.
Closest international airport is Echo, Delta, Mike.
Roger that. We're going to proceed with some hacks.exe, and we'll spawn behind you in just a minute.
Okay. Give me a little wing spin so I know I'm actually...
You're goddamn right I can.
No, I didn't even see it. Way that.
Oh, roger that, and that was all for nothing. I am now triggered.
Roger that, I'm installing
And Apollo 13.
I have you inside.
Roger that. We launched directly back into the session and confirm we have an A90 Orleanoke substituted out as a 747. What in God's name is happening?
confirmed.
Airwolf, can you confirm your aircraft type for me? You said you were in a 747.
I am flying a CLS DC-10.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
30.
Roger that. Just be advised, you will be substituted out on our screen as a giant Russian amphibious aircraft known as the A-90 Orleanok. This will be an absolutely ridiculous intercept, but you can expect to get shot down anyways.
Roger that.
Hey, Kilo. Go ahead.
He just said Roger that. I don't think there's anything more to his transmission.
Oh, I thought I was gonna step on him, so I shut the hell up.
Okay, now I'm getting stepped on. I was just confirming that he only said Roger that, and I believe that was the ending to his transmission, so there was nothing else to be stepped on. So I'd say you could go ahead and proceed with what you were gonna say now that his sentence has been terminated.
Kilo, are you recording?
Negative. I'm just going through this entire process just for shits and giggles. I'm not recording at this time.
Oh, I thought you were having your cell phone and your
just kidding. Of course I'm recording, boss. I got my calculator recording at the moment.
Amen to that.
Hey, can I have a screenshot?
I guess you could do that.
Do a screenshot, Kilo.
Oh, you mean me fly up there and intercept you and then you get a screenshot? Whoa, Jesus. I'll do that on my way. And I've been wondering why I am not able to exceed more than 170 knots, and it is because I'm flying full throttle at 35,000 feet with my spoiler deployed.
Roger, I see you inside.
Roger that. You see me in sight, and I see you in sight as well. I've got you in sight at my 12 o'clock. Seeing you.
Oh my god, this is so awesome.
Have the Vaseline ready. Airwolf, what is your current ground speed, actually?
I'm actually over speeding, almost near 350 knots.
Here's a brilliant idea. How about you don't do that so I can catch up? Okay, we have a 737 that may have just experienced explosive decompression. His contrail just abruptly ended in flight. Rest in pieces, never 10 get.
Rest in pieces, mate.
Rest in pieces, mate.
Nice try on the accent, but I'm gonna have to give you a 3 out of 10 on that one.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that.
Nice try,
Yeah,
mate.
Roger that. You can go ahead and proceed to Alt F4 direct back to RuneScape.
You know what? I would, but I don't know. I can get back at one now.
This is Airwolf. Are you interested going to Vienna?
I suppose we could. We're coming up. It's going to depend on what kind of meal service you have on board today. We're coming up 2.5 miles behind in trail of you for the intercept. So what do you got going on as far as meal service today?
We're having some beaner too. They also have opportunity to try our delicious, famous steak with mashed potatoes.
Okay, that was a lot more descriptive than I expected it to be, actually. So because of your effort, we will accompany you to Vienna.
Hey, Kilo Charlie, thank you so much for making my day.
Oh, roger that. No problem, boss. Anytime. You could go ahead and PayPal me the $200 after the session.
What did you say?
It's okay. We'll talk about it later.
You owe him money.
Alright, $200, no problem. Perfect day for flying.
I was just gonna say that. Beautiful weather out here, isn't it?
You know where I am? It's actually.
Oh, blog it.
Kilo Charlie, what is your favorite aircraft?
I'm gonna have to go with the mighty, the deadly, and the vulnerable Cessna 172 Skyhawk.
Oh man, that's money right there.
Big money, baby. Big money.
That's my air money.
Oh, you triggered, bro? Blog.
Go ahead and blog that for us.
Yeah.
Moving in for the intercom. Okay, that sounded a little bit sexual. Let's throttle back. And we have intercepted this ridiculous Russian Ekranoplane at the moment, but we're going to pretend that it is something else. Actually, I don't know how we're going to do that because I'm literally recording it, so disregard that. Yeah, and when you view that screenshot, you may want to have some bleach nearby because you'll be definitely consuming it afterwards.
Roger that.
We're in a glider. We have an engine failure. We need to land. Have copy. Alright, well I just declared engine failure first, so you'll be made a number 2. Don't try these moves on me. Tower, come in.
There is no tower.
Who are you then?
I'm me. Who are you?
I'm me as well. So you're you. From here on out, you will be you, I will be me. Do not try that again. Call sign Ace Fighter in a glider. We have an engine failure, we need to land.
What?
We're in a glider, we have an engine failure, we need to land. Have copy.
Okay, I just had that double engine failed and I had to do an emergency landing.
Alright, well I just declared engine failure first, so you'll be made a number 2. Don't try these moves on me. I'm getting really heated right now. I already have an emergency situation. I don't need to be going back and forth with you on frequency. Tower requesting emergency landing, call sign Ace Fighter. Or another pilot, can you please give me landing clearance? I'm going down.
Yeah.
Negative. Request clearance to land, not crash. Why would I be requesting clearance to crash? Alright, fuck it. Landing. Runway 32 left, call sign Ace Fighter, short final. Oh baby, we're coming in hot.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you about. Alright, I was gonna say that, man. You keep stepping over me. I'm trying to give him, I'm letting him know that I heard him loud and clear. Yeah, I got you 5x5. Ah, fuck. What? What?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
No, this is Airwolf. Disregard that other guy.
That's a problem? What?
Huh?
Who is this? You sound familiar.
This is Airwolf.
This is Airwolf.
Well, we have a conflicting call sign on frequency. I'm gonna ask you to change your call sign, or else I will dispatch my glider to your location for hostile action.
I was gonna have to put a negative on that action. Over.
Alright, well, glider's gonna have to put an affirmative on that action. We're closing canopy and calling in a tow plane at this time. Lock and load, boys. Here we go.
Airwolf, this is Airwolf. I am at Frankfurt, Germany.
Same. I'm in position in gate 122.
Oh, okay, roger that. I'm gonna forward you a link to a Blogspot account where you can post the rest of that. Thank you, sir.
Alright, cool.
Alright, we have just rotated Ace Fighter jet and the glider launching on runway 32 left. Nearly had a runway incursion with the company F-18.
Alright, are you coming to Frankfurt?
Yeah, dog. I'm in the United States right now launching in a glider. I'm definitely on my way to Germany.
Alright, make ready.
Alright, we have taken off with our speed brake deployed. You can go ahead and confiscate our pilot certificate at this time.
I'm actually doing a flight with a friend going to Vienna, Austria. You want, you can give us escort if you want.
Are you requesting escort services from a glider?
Roger.
We have a, we're breaking off of our tow rope here. We have an F-18 that's just passed us doing a low, high-speed pass, engaging in a dogfight, glider, Ace Fighter, over and out.
Roger. Let me get this puppy up and running. Is this the...
Sir, I'm going to ask you to say full sentences from here on out instead of just keying your mic and saying some random gargled nonsense.
Hey,
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Go do that.
Okay, I'm in position. After pushback, I'm gonna flex down.
I did not understand a word of that. You're going to have to run that by me again, Chief Man. Okay, communication skills in this server are currently non-existent. We're going to have to organize ourselves here. One at a time and full sentences, please.
I need to set up my autopilots.
I don't believe anyone asked, and you do not need to announce that. Over and out.
Oceana Tower online.
Oceana Tower, this is glider, call sign Ace Fighter, currently in a hold over the airport, surveying the skies for hostile activity. We got you covered. We're going to be requesting landing clearance here momentarily. We broke off to intercept a hostile F-18 before, and we do not have any engine at this point, so we're going to need landing clearance.
You are cleared to land on runway.
Roger, clear to land, runway, hold on.
Hey,
and we'll actually request an amendment here. Tower, request to land on the ramp right next to your location, just so you can watch us.
Request, yes.
I guess that's the
Okay,
Roger.
You can do that.
Okay, thank you. You could just say Roger that. That would be a lot easier for both of us.
Okay, Roger.
Alright, we have a 737 that is doing about 350 knots on the ground, just overran the runway with a nose gear. Oh, never mind, he's rotated off of the blast pad. And a seaplane is just off to the end of the runway, currently dragging through the ground. Tower, what is currently happening at Oceana Airport? And that seaplane is now rotated off of hard surface. Negative, this is not water.
I'm a 737, but I'm on 23 knots, so it's not me. I'm texting behind warp airport.
Everything you're saying can be forwarded direct to the blog. Tower, we just had a seaplane rotate off of a land surface and a 7-3 that was doing 400 knots on rotation. What is currently happening? Alright, Tower, advise when you're ready to copy a phone number. I'll have you, I'm going to need you to contact the FAA here. Alright boys, we're putting up spoilers, we're coming in for a landing, we're coming in hot and fast, runway 23 left against tower construction with every man's for himself, and we have an F-18 that has overran the runway below our position.
Alright. Hey, I'm at, runway 7 left.
Oh, cool dude.
Yep. Takeoff, heading towards, Vienna, Austria.
Confirm you just cleared yourself for takeoff?
Roger, clear for takeoff. Runway 7 left.
That's negative. Alright, whatever. Go for it.
Alright.
It's okay, there's no 7 left runway.
Alright, and we forgot to extend our landing gear. We have one wheel that we needed to extend and we failed to do that. Certificate has been revoked once again.
5325 asking permissions to stand by.
Asking permission to stand by. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna push this plane to the pedal to the metal.
Inside voices, please.
200 horsepower underneath this puppy.
Underneath?
And the engines, boy.
Boy. Who do you think you're calling boy? Alright, we have an F-18 that just flew very low right past the tower, and a 747 that is going backwards on the ramp. We have a 747 that is pushing back via reverse thrust. That has been out of protocol since the 1980s, sir. You can alt F4.
Clearance to get on runway 07.
Alright, so if you requested, excuse you, so you've requested clearance to stand by, now you're requesting clearance to taxi. Would you like your requested clearance to throttle up as well? Jesus Christ.
Mic check, can I get mic check, please?
Oh, I got you loud and clear, boss man. How you got me? Yeah, Roger, hard copy, 10 by 5. Yeah.
Roger that.
That escalated quickly.
Delta Yankee requesting landing off of runway 69.
Delta Alpha, Delta Yankee. I'm gonna go ahead and abridge your call sign to straight up Daddy. Daddy, you're cleared to land.
Thanks, Mom. Can I get a 10-4 on Air Force Proud 95 being a sir? Can I get a 10-4 on that one?
I'll give you more than a 10-4. I'll give you a 10-5. How's that sound? Seaplane about to strike the tower.
Yeah, dude, I walked in on my parents having sex. That was the most awkward 45 minutes of my life.
Gonna pretend I did not hear any of that.
Here is 5325, ready on runway 07.
Atlanta Tower, this is Boeing 3983. I will be spawning at gate A1.
Boeing 3983, thank you, sir.
User joined your channel.
It's not Boner, it's Boeing.
I didn't say Boner, I said Boeing.
I'm sorry. Just give me the departure straight out to the west.
Okay, just don't tell me what to do. If I'll just give you taxi clearance here momentarily, stand by.
Roger that, standing by, loading passengers.
Okay, roger that. How many souls are going to be on board today?
220.
And what's the meal service?
We're having chicken or roast beef.
Outstanding.
Roger that, with corn cakes. And the night movie will be Terminator.
First one or the second one?
First one.
Good, the second one was dog shit. Stand by 1 second, Boeing. We'll give you clearance here momentarily.
Roger that. Loading passengers.
Okay, roger that. Boeing 3983, you're cleared into the Atlanta class Bravo airspace. You're also cleared for start and pushback since ramp activity is minimal. Once pushback advised ready for taxi, we'll give you instructions at that point. Okay, Boeing 3983, confirm you have an aircraft that is taxiing behind you?
That is confirmed, Tower.
Okay, do you know that aircraft, or is that somebody without permission to be following you?
Roger that, that's friendly.
Okay, roger that. You're on taxiway Lima. Take Lima all the way down to the end of runway 27 right.
Would I like to add 2 young dwarves to my dead mind's plow?
I'll notify you when I get to the runway. You'll let me know if I can cross or not.
Okay, we'll try that one more time. It was take Lima down to runway 27 right, not runway right.
Did I get it right? Did I pass it? No.
No, sir, you're fine. I'm just the instruction, the readback. Yes, 1 second, please. Just the readback was taxiway Lima to 27 right. You said something to runway right.
Something about the runway, yes. I'm sorry.
Right, if you could just get that readback correct. Lima to 27 right.
Roger that. 27 right.
Thank you, sir.
Don't hit me, man. Damn.
We are.
I'm turning,
just to
man.
confirm.
It's a big ass plane.
We are in an Airbus
safety. That made me stop.
Okay, stand by. Boeing 3983. I see you transitioning onto Juliet to Mike. So I guess you can take taxiway Mike down to runway 27 right now.
Roger that, Tower. Sorry, I was almost getting rear-ended, I would have notified you.
Okay, that's fine. May I ask, what's the purpose of the aircraft following you today? What is he going to be doing?
I just want to have a witness to what I'm doing, so yeah, he's more of an instructor view at the moment. I doubt he'll keep up, but all I know is I'm fixing to take off, and if he's going to follow me, he better have some gumption, because I'm fixing to get on it.
Okay.
I'm fixing.
I'm going from 0 to 7,000 feet, and I'm moving at about 300 knots.
Well, that would be a violation of regulations. You'll be required to remain below 250 knots until you've reached 10,000 feet or above.
No, I mean, I got it set on my bug at 2.5, I think like 2.55.
Okay,
it's
that
hard
would still be a violation. You're going to need it to be at 250. 250.
Go ahead, Tower.
Yes, we're having some conflict here trying to communicate with each other. It's going to have to be 250 or less airspeed below 10,000 feet.
Roger that. Alright, 250, flaps are set about halfway. I think I'm good to go. Boeing 3983 requesting to line up on runway, what is that, 27 right.
Boeing 3983, runway 27 right, line up and wait.
Atlanta Tower, be advised, this is Boeing 3983 holding short of runway 27 right. They're actually holding on runway 27 right. I don't know how you... I'm on the damn runway. I just need you to tell me I can take off.
Okay, yes, sir. Before you take off, have you had anything to drink tonight?
How would I say that?
Yes.
How would I tell the tower that I'm on the runway?
Yes, there is active ATC, as you can hear. We are currently talking. Boeing 3983. Are you feeling okay to fly right now? Are you in condition to fly? Because we've had some...
Yes, sir. Yes,
sure?
sir. I promise you, I am totally capable of flying. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I am a father of 2 kids.
That is irrelevant.
I got a 10-year-old daughter. This little game ain't gonna scare me, I can assure you.
Okay. Okay, I didn't need any of those details, but if you could just remain there, or continue holding in position on runway 27 right.
Roger that, I'm holding.
Great. Boeing 3983. Would you mind flying a quick traffic pattern so we can evaluate your flying capabilities before we send you out of the airspace?
Roger that, yes sir.
We would just like to observe you from the tower performing.
Do you want me to do a left pattern or a right pattern, Tower?
We'll have you do a left-hand traffic pattern. So Boeing 3983, runway 27 right. You are clear for takeoff. Left closed traffic pattern is approved. Please call me on the downwind.
Roger that. Boeing 3983, clear for takeoff. Left pattern, close. Notify tower. Gotcha.
That would be notify me on downwind.
Yes, notify you on downwind. That means when I'm going down the airport. Gotcha.
Yes, otherwise downwind.
Yep.
Correct.
Downwind. Gotcha.
There you go.
And then bases when I turn.
Outstanding.
Navy 2550 requesting lineup and take
Tower, you're an
off.
awesome tower, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Did we get lineup?
I'm off the ground.
Your channel.
Atlanta Tower, this is Boeing 3983. Be advised, I have disappeared and it kicked me completely out. I am back to my Steam account. I'm gonna go whiz. I'm gonna come back and try it again.
Okay, Boeing 3983. Somehow I doubt that. I do feel like you crashed and have had to respawn.
No, seriously. Look. You can look up my name. My name is Finley77 or 26 actually. Finley26. Look at my Steamer account. It'll tell you I'm not in the game. I'm not there.
Yeah, that would just be a Steam account, not a Steamer account.
Whatever, man. I ain't gonna sit and jerk you off. I'm telling you the truth. Either way.
Well, if you want to get fired up here, you just announced on frequency that you're gonna go take a whiz. So, once you return from your whiz, if you'd like to request something. Some actual flight clearance professionally, then I'll give you that.
This is Airbus.
Roger.
You know, I give up at this point.
Most people do.
Oh, fuck.
Someone just died.
I just fucking coughed shit all over my computer.
It's kind of pretty hot, though.
Sound muted.
Welcome to Steam Edition.
Atlanta
I just
Tower,
looked to my
this is
left and
Boeing
there's
393. Please be advised I'll be pushing back within the next minute and heading to active runway. Please advise me of taxiway.
Boeing 3983, roger that. Exit ramp on Lima 4, left on Lima, transition onto Mike at Lima 7.
Holy
down,
shit,
left
you gotta
on
slow
Mike,
down,
hold
bro.
short.
So I go out at the gas station, I take a left, and then what?
That'll be Lima 4, left on Lima, transition onto Mike at Lima 7. Continue down Mike, hold short at Mike 20, advice holding short 27 right with ATIS information Alpha.
Roger that. What active runway do you have me taking off on, and I'll get there.
Yeah, that would be runway 27 right.
Roger that, 27 right.
Over as Fapic.
User was moved out of your channel.
By the way, ATC, thank you for your service, man.
Yes, it's my pleasure. And
no, seriously, I know we're a bunch of dicks on here, man, but thank you for your patience and service, man. It's duly appreciated.
Duly appreciated.
Likewise, I appreciate
I will be your internet girlfriend if you need one.
You can leave.
Is that the whitest teeth I've ever come across?
No idea what that means.
That's what she said.
Isn't it funny how it gets interesting? Sorry, Tower.
Sounds like a robo-fat.
Can I take off 27 left?
Yeah. Okay, Boeing 3983, have you begun taxi yet? We still see you at the ramp.
Roger that. I've pushed back, but I have yet, since it's dark, I can't really see where the taxiways are, and I have no idea where Lemur is.
Well, there will be, there will be lights on the taxiway, so that's...
Just guesstimated, brother.
No, I mean, I see the blue lights, and then I see the little signs, but I can't read what's on the signs.
Yeah, how about this? Just start taxiing in one direction or the other, and we'll tell you whether you're going the right way or not. That'll be the start.
I love One Direction.
Sorry for the inconvenience, Tower.
That's fine. Yes, we see you moving. You go in the right direction. So once you get to the first taxiway at the end of the ramp, make a left there. That should be Lima.
Roger that. Left on end of ramp, Lemur.
Did you just say Lemur?
Yeah, that'll be. Just want to confirm that's Lima, Lima, not Lemur.
But I mean, Lemur sounds a lot cooler, though. I mean, cool.
That is true. Okay.
It is a
left
very
on
cool
Lemur.
animal.
Kilo Foxtrot Papa Alpha.
Okay, whoever's mother is yelling at them in the background, you have an open mic. Okay, Boeing 3983, we see you have taxied past Lima. You are now on taxiway Mike.
Damn it.
It was pretty simple instructions. That's alright though. You can continue down on Mike and taxi all the way down, advise holding short.
I can get over on Lima Tower if you'd want me to.
I actually don't think you can do that, but that's okay. Just stay on Mike and head all the way down to the end of the runway.
Wankers. That's it. Wankers. Bits of wank. I love it.
What's happening?
I believe he's talking to himself.
Tower, I'm holding short of runway.
Okay, Boeing 3983, runway 27 right. You are clear for takeoff. Left-hand traffic pattern is approved. Please advise on downwind.
Roger that. Boeing 3983, approved takeoff. And left advise, or left downwind advised.
I guess that's one way of putting it.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and press F4.
Boeing 3983, clear of runway.
Yeah, Boeing 3983, we just witnessed you use the entire length of the runway. That was a very close call.
I did that on purpose, by the way. Boeing 3983, downwind, left leg.
Okay, Boeing 3983, you appears you're flight of 3 now.
Roger that, I will notify when I hit base.
And Boeing 3983, you're going to have a third F-18 that is now approaching you, so you've been intercepted by 3 F-18s.
User disconnected from your channel.
After that, I have visual of 3 F-18s at my 6, 8, and 9 o'clock.
Okay, I'm obviously I don't know what the hell is going on. Were you expecting any of this, or is this also random?
Negative. No, sir. This is all spontaneous reaction. I'm just taking off, doing my thing. You asked me to fly a flight pattern, and I'm doing it.
Yes, you are. You're doing a great job of it.
Thank you, sir.
Very proud of you.
I got my dog tied up. If I mess up,
didn't need to know that.
Him. No, I'm just kidding. No, but thank you. I just wanted to show you I can do it, brother.
That's fine. I believe that was a threat against an animal. We'll be contacting peace after your landing.
God looks at you and is like, why are you here? And you're like, look, I had ATC clearance.